In this video, I'm going to be breaking down what it takes to get in great shape, specifically building a lean, muscular physique. You guys, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate building a great physique, and what helped me a lot was really keeping it simple, but doing it over a long period of time and doing the right things. So here's 3 things to ensure that you actually finally build the physique you want in 2025. Fucking hell, I can't even get my words out. Right, and make it a successful year. So the first thing you need is brutal accountability. All right, so when I mean brutal accountability, like you honestly looking yourself in the mirror and understanding your flaws, right? Being honest with yourself, because self accountability is a key step towards self mastery, right? So for you to become the best version of yourself, master yourself physically, you need to be accountable. And hold yourself accountable to high standards as well. Like, don't, when you look in the mirror, don't be like, yeah, this is okay, this is acceptable, because you're not holding yourself accountable to a higher standard. Hence, you've got the physique that you have right now and you want to change it. So you need to be accountable, right? So you need to look at your areas of weakness, drop the ego, right? Drop all that stupid stuff, because at the end of the day, like, that's not going to get you to where you want to be. So be accountable when you look in the mirror, see where your weaknesses are, see what you need to improve on, and always be checking that. So throughout your fitness journey, as you work on building your body, like, always be accountable. Like, anything that doesn't apply this rule, this principle, anything that doesn't go your way, right? Any result that you don't get, it's your fault. All right, it's your fucking fault if you don't get the outcome you want. So being brutally accountable for every action you take, for every outcome that you get. All right, so that's the first thing, to be accountable to yourself, and getting accountability from others. That is something that was massive for me in my fitness journey at the start, man. Like, I had people that I was training with, and they'd always hold me accountable to a high level, and we'd hold each other accountable. So I mean, it just removes you out of your comfort zone. It makes you more in tuned with exactly what you need to do, and it avoids you slacking off, essentially. So holding yourself accountable, guys, is super important to continue progressing towards your goal, because getting in great shape is simple, but it's difficult. The reason being is the duration of time, right? Unlike a lot of fat people can just cut off the fat and have got a nice physique there. Skinny guys starting out, like me when I started out, you got to actually build the physique and the frame, right? And that takes more time. So throughout that journey, you're going to have to hold yourself accountable to anything that you said you're going to do. Anything where you go wrong, put it on down to yourself. All right, cool. So that's the first thing you need to do, right? The second thing you need to do is to have the proper understanding of macronutrients and training, right? I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate this shit. Like, with the training and the macronutrients, a lot of fitness gurus are out there now. You see all these like fancy exercises and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, I can just share what works for me, and it's just sticking to the compound exercises as like your bread and butter, right? The foundation of your physique will be built from the compound exercises. So I'm talking, your squats. Don't fucking skip legs, guys. Like, skipping leg day, walking around with fucking chicken legs, right? Having a reverse Dorito as a physique is not the one. I can tell you, my boy. Like, having that balanced physique is everything. And a lot of people don't know, when you put meat, you put some size on the back legs, put size on your legs, it's so many benefits. Boosts your testosterone. It builds muscle on your overall physique. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's so much more benefits to your posture. So training legs is non-negotiable, right? And it's gonna benefit you too with with the physique you want. So yeah, definitely that's the main thing with legs. So squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, pull-ups, dips, rows. You can honestly build a great physique just off that. But that's like your foundation. That's what's gonna put the mass and strength on your physique. And then you have your isolation exercises, which are exercises that are like fine-tuning your physique, right? It's almost like the finishing, it's like the icing on the cake, right? The compound exercise is the base of the cake, right? The main ingredients. And then you have the icing on the cake to decorate it, to make it look more pretty, to make it look more, nice, fancy. That's the isolation exercises, right? And those exercises will sculpt your physique. So compact exercises will build it, and then isolation exercises will sculpt your physique, right? Work on certain, like, to build a definition of your muscles in certain areas and things like that. So for training, that's the key. And then for the diet, is understanding the macronutrients, the proteins, the carbs, and the fats, to ensure that not only do you build size, but you build in lean muscle and having minimal fat, minimal fat as possible. You feel me? Like me, I'm at about 10-11% body fat right now. So, and that's a good range. I say if you're between 8 to 12%, that's great. If you want to go even lower, you want to be completely shredded, because I'm not shredded, then cool. I mean, if you can maintain it, great. But to have that, you can only have that kind of body fat percentage, right? A lean body fat, if your macronutrients, your diet is dialed in. So that's you eating at about 2 to 500 calories surplus above your maintenance level. That's you eating 2 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body weight, right? And just understanding like the fats and the carbs, because that will depend per person as well. But the whole thing is like, if you don't understand what that is, then hiring somebody that knows exactly for you what you need to eat, and like my first point, accountable, will hold you accountable to it as well. That's a great way to time collapse your current physique to where you want to be. All right. But yeah, either that or you research it yourself and you figure out, put the pieces together how to do that, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. You cannot out-train a bad diet. It's essential that you eat properly, you know? So having those two things is essential as well, to for you to actually get in great shape this year. And the third thing is your ability to overcome challenges and setbacks, guys. This is the mental side of things, your mentality. Bro, like when I was training, my first day training, like I literally injured my lower back like so badly. Like it was gone, completely collapsed. And the thing is you're gonna have challenges and setbacks along the way, right? That's a given. But it's how do you overcome that? How do you keep moving forward and looking at the positives in every situation? Because if you're the type of person, which I'm assuming you probably are, if you've been training for a little bit and you've been starting and stopping and you've not made any progress, you got to change that shit, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have obstacles, challenges in the way, because God's putting them in front of you as a test, and the test is a blessing for you if you do the work and you overcome it, right? So, I mean, when it comes to building the physique, the test will be like when you don't want to train, like when you don't feel like training and you got to train anyway because that's when you're supposed to train. When you don't feel like eating that meal that's going to put you in that calorie surplus, it's going to tip you above the edge a little bit of your comfort zone, where you're actually going to feel, man, I've actually ate quite a lot today. Like, these are just two examples, but that's really what it's about, right? And you know, you may have an injury or so along the way, like a few niggling times or a few times where you're not 100% feeling it when you're training. Like when you're actually training, you're not 100% feeling it, whether it's because of aches, you're sore, or you just don't really feel like doing that weight today because you feel like it's going to be more, it feels heavier than normal. You still do it. Like these kind of like setbacks, these kind of like challenges, you know, like how you're going to deal with a situation where, let's say, I don't know, let's just say, cool, like you went to the gym and it's not open for that day or 2 days in a row. You're gonna just not train when you're supposed to. You're gonna work out at home, like as an example, you know. So just overcoming setbacks and challenges in your fitness journey is key, because the mindset that you have towards those challenges and your actions, like that will determine the outcome on the other side of those challenges. So it's very, very important. The mindset, the nutrition, the habits, and your training itself all together as a collective to take you to actually building a great physique this year, you know. So you guys, that's pretty much it. That's the main video today. Just wanted to pack as much value into it as possible, really, on what I know to be 3 fantastic ways that will take you from your current shape to get you into great shape, in 2020, in 2025. I don't know why I keep stumbling on that, but I mean, the whole thing is guys, like, you gotta hold yourself accountable to a really high level, because you will not rise to your ambition, you'll fall to your standards. So you gotta hold yourself accountable to high standards. You gotta have the proper training and macronutrients. If you don't even know what you're doing when it comes to your training and your nutrition, well then, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So you gotta plan that in to your day. Like, you gotta actually know what you're doing, and like, overcoming setbacks and challenges. Number 3, that you gotta be able to have the right mindset to deal with challenges and setbacks that will inevitably come your way, right? Because those are like the stumbling blocks where most people hit the wall, they hit that challenge, which is like a wall, and they bounce off it, right? Rather than hitting it, working a way around it, and then continuing forward. But that's it, you guys. It's your boy Faisal first. You know what time it is. Serious business.